Hey guys, Joe here. It is 6:30 a.m. and I am very tired. I took a nap yesterday. I've been just busy and I don't want to say sick. Sick implies like sick implies like there's an illness wrong with me, but there isn't. Like I'm just tired. I've been sleeping like crap all week. But just bad sleep schedule. But this is the guy who watched Sinners and just it just made me want to rewatch Dusk Till Dawn. I should have done my opening. I made a mistake. No, I'm not gonna redo it though. So I'm here to talk about UFC Fight Night, where they weren't on the Apex for once, which was nice. I think it was Kansas City. I don't remember. But it was Ian Machado Garry taking on Carlos Prates. So do the fight nerds continue, or does the new cringe lord of welterweight get another win? Enough talk. Let's get to the fight. Main event. Like I said, I think Eden Machado Gary is our current cringe lord. I think a lot of people hate on him because of his style. I got no problem if that's your fighting style, honestly. Like, it takes two to tango. If one guy doesn't want to be entertaining, it's really hard to make it that way. He's taking on Carlos Prates out of the famed and unbeaten coming into the weekend, fighting nerds. So, and Prates was looking like he's kind of like their surgeon sniper stalking with long, lanky shots, and here comes southpaw left hands and right hooks to come and clobber people. And he's been knocking everybody out and hasn't gone to decision since 2019. Real exciting guy. And Ian Garry, credit where credit's due, he wins a unanimous decision, but man, he frustrated and outclassed Prates for basically 4.9 rounds because it was a lot of moving, it was a lot of kicking, and mixing up his striking and his precision boxing that he was kind of using to counter because he knows Prates is going to try and stalk and use his range to land these sniper bombs, and he was doing very well at moving off center to try and counter those, and or feint to get Prates to have a lower output, which is smart. If you're retreating if you're worried about the other opponent firing back, feints are a great way. If you can make him bite on every feint, at least even if he's like throwing and missing, like that's the best case scenario. GSP would feint on BJ and BJ would throw back and it would just miss and then get taken down. And it would over rounds, he's wearing himself out like that. But another way is you feint, they cover up, then guess what? He's not throwing punches when he's covering up, and this opens up so much more. And that was, really the tail of the tape right there, because he was using those using feints in his movement and kicking game to really open up takedown opportunities. And now you're creating takedown opportunities. You're already winning the striking. Your opponent's afraid of getting taken down now. That opens up the striking even more, which opens up like you kind of see the full circle here. And I am not an even Machado Gary fan, probably evident by the fact that I call him the current cringe lord at 170 pounds. That said, not going to act like I'm not impressed with this performance here. Very, very, very good performance. The type of stuff I, as an MMA fan, love to see. So that was pretty sick for me. I thought that was awesome. And but I said 4.9 rounds. Near the end, Prates, who I am a fan of, so I love these fighting nerd guys. These guys are amazing. I don't want to say saving MMA for me right now, but they're definitely in this dark age we are currently in. They are a shining light for me as of now. But Prates does get top position, and he does land some massive bombs on Ian Garry. I don't think Ian Garry was in danger of being finished, and I hate the whole what if isms of, well, if there was 30 seconds left on the clock, if we gave Carlos Prates a giant rock to start the fight with or a brick to start the fight with, he probably would win too, but it's not how this works. We're not going to add 30 more seconds on the clock to be like, "Whoa, he's about to finish him. Let's add the 30 seconds." He's using his one time add 30 seconds on the clock. So I've really kind of been over that whole mindset of it. He couldn't get the finish. He got close, but he wasn't ever going to. I think we as fans know that. So that's a lot of what ifism. So see, I'm defending Ian Garry. I I can make fun of somebody over cameras over here. I can make fun of somebody and take it away. I give and I take. Uh, but he is to make it even. God, he's a cringe lord. Anyways, what's next for both of these guys? So obviously, Ian Garry. He's boasting that he's going to be the injury replacement for either JDM or Bilal Muhammad. I don't know the validity of that. He definitely comes across as somebody who would be like, yeah, I'm invited to every party. And it's like, well, you don't go to these parties. Like, I'm sure we've all, at least in my partying days, I used to know people like that. He kind of hits the same wavelength in my brain for a guy like that. So who knows if he is? He probably should be because Shavkat's still injured and dealing with, the end of Ramadan. From what I understand, I could be just ignorant, but um, like he probably should be if Shavkat's not available. Obviously, I mean that's the reason they did this fight in the first place. JDM was because Shavkat isn't available. So I'm down for that, sure. But I think if we're gonna book him for a real fight, I actually have some booking decisions here. I can't continue to critique UFC booking like I did last week on the hot takes video. Go watch it if you haven't, please. But I um I have to give alternates. So here is my two choices for Ian Garry. I think for sure he should fight either Sean Brady, who's coming off a very big win over Leon Edwards, or the winner of the recently announced Joaquin Buckley Kamaru Usman fight. I think either of those matchups does the same job, which is either of those matchups is, in my opinion, a number one contendership fight. And as much as I think Ian Garry got kind of whooped on, he wasn't finished against Shavkat, and he wasn't really in danger outside of a couple of moments of being finished, really in the grappling. And he did take Shavkat's back, who, by the way, full disclosure, if he goes into a title fight 100%, he's walking out with the belt. Like that guy's the champ. Just we're wasting time at this point. You were just kind of waiting, like, is he going to be 100%? Because if he is, he's walking in, getting a finish, and leaving. I'm very high on this train, if you haven't noticed. Uh, that's why it makes it more fun when it comes crashing down. Um, but I think, I don't think his stock dropped a little bit, but like not really all that much because he had a great performance against Shavkat. Um, an injured or coming off of injury Shavkat with a ACL tear, but hey man, like he can't. That's not his fault. So what is his fault is how well he did. Once again, credit where credit's due. Just because I dislike a guy or a fighter doesn't mean I'm not going to give them credit when they deserve it. If I've ever said I dislike a fighter and I don't ever praise him or give him credit, maybe their credit isn't due. I don't make the rules here. This is just how I talk. No, I'm playing. But what is next for Carlos Prates, who I'm a fan of? I think Leon Edwards, personally. I think Leon Edwards, I think that's a fun one. I think that's a fun idea. But I don't know if that's maybe the 100% of a play. I kind of want to get Leon. Leon's lost two in a row. I kind of want to give him an easier fight, and this is probably a real dangerous fight. But at the same time, I think it's a winnable fight because Leon has the capacity to make it a grindier fight, which I think you need to do against Carlos Prates. For the co-main event, Anthony Smith's retirement fight, and I'm going to be honest with you, the UFC might hate him. They hilariously gave him the unbeaten 3 straight finishes Minyang Zhang or Zhang Minyang. This fight kind of went exactly how a lot of us expected it. Anthony Smith kind of playing off the counter. Zhang Minyang doing well. Busts Anthony Smith open. He's bleeding like wild. He goes for a takedown, doesn't get it. Turtles, TKO finish. TKO win for Zhang. Anthony Smith retires. Kind of sad. Um, and I actually like what Zhang Mingyong said in the post-fight interview. He said, the crowd's booing him, you know? He's like, you may not know who I am, but now you do. I'm like, I kind of like that. I kind of dig that. Um, but Anthony Smith retires. I don't really have a ton to say on this, admittingly, but congratulations on retirement and good luck in the future. You had honestly very few people in the sport get two chances in the UFC, and not only that, you did it at near the later end of your career, and you had a very good push at light heavyweight that I think a lot of people, because of the age of Rashad Evans' children, who are, they don't fully um, respect how much of a very talented fighter you were. The Volkan Ozdemir fight is probably at the time, I still think that's probably his biggest win in his career because that to me was like oh, you are a top contender, 205. Um, I didn't give him a chance against John Jones because we all know John Jones is going to be, on every substance known to man. But he did have a chance at being light heavyweight champion, and credit again where Anthony Smith here. Anthony Smith took a knee and had a chance to just say, "I can't continue." Took an illegal knee, and he would have been light heavyweight champion, beat John Jones, and he didn't because he's tough. So also proof John Jones cheated again. Anyways, for the rest of the Giga Jakazi took on David Onama, and he thinks he got robbed. He didn't. The judges got it right. David Onama beat him for sure by unanimous decision. Ibis Magomedov and Michelle Pereira had a very boring fight for me. Oh my goodness. Ibis gets the win after hurting Pereira, and Pereira he gassed himself out with like having no output at all this fight. I think he did one, I think he left his feet once. I think he did a jumping knee, but other than that, he was gassed. And then at the end, he was like, he's more gassed than me. Maybe I should do something. And nothing happened. The fight that was awesome was my boy Nicholas Dalby and Randy Brown, who's also like fringe boy for me. I like Randy Brown a lot. Man, Randy Brown in the first round just smears the nose of Nicholas Dalby. Like it was wild. And then in the second round, they start brawling for a bit. Nicholas Dalby's trying to dirty up the fight because he's losing the technical aspect of it. He gets blasted with a huge walk-off KO loss. My boys, stop fighting, boys. Be friends. Um, a great fight though. Honestly, it was fight of the night, and it was a fantastic fight. Ikram Aliskerov got a TKO in the final seconds. I think it was like in the final minute of round one, and he begged for a ranked opponent. Sure, why not? Matt Schnell, by the way, Matt Schnell, known UFC pay defender. I'm gonna call him out when I remember him. Uh, he has no striking defense ever. His head is always on a silver platter. But man, on the ground, this dude can work. Jimmy Flick was landing some good shots. Like I think he landed like three left hooks in a row. Just left hook, left hook. Is his head still really there, sitting still? Left hook. But he was mostly trying to wrestle against Matt Schnell. This fight on the ground was crazy. Very fun fight for me. I This is my up my alley. This is my ground war. And I had a lot of fun. Matt Schnell with a unanimous decision win. Evan Elder beat Gage Young by unanimous decision. Chris Gutierrez and John Castaneda. This one was really close for me. So I was watching, maybe I shouldn't say it. I was watching a movie that recently came out at the house on the internet without, but at the time, and I also had the fights on in the background because me and some friends were kind of talking about it, like texting and stuff like that. And I was watching, like, pause the movie, watch the fight in between, like watch it in between rounds. And so I really feel like I was a little distracted because I was thinking about the movie because the movie was good. And I I scored it for Castaneda. I'm gonna be honest though, my score probably isn't accurate, and it for sure isn't relevant for once. Um, but I was distracted. This fight was good, but I tried doing the stupid thing of doing two things at once. Trying to watch two things at once. I can't do that. No. The internet has ruined my attention span for that one. Damon Blackshear got a dominating win. I thought, a very clean win over Hai Liat and a unanimous decision win. Cameron Simon, dude, this dude got blasted by a big right hand from Malcolm Wellmaker. I just want, I don't know why I put his name first. I feel bad. Like, wait, Cameron Simon won? No, he got knocked out in the first round. First round, huge right hand very quickly, too. I think it's because I like saying his last name. I like how it's spelled. Reading it and saying it out loud is very, I don't know, it's got a good mouthfeel. Apologize for the switcheroo there. I don't know if you guys can tell I'm tired. Polyana Viana, she is a very, very pretty woman, but look at her. But if you look, she's dropped 3 fights in a row. The latest being from Jacqueline Amarine by unanimous decision. I have a theory. This is still punishment for the JJ Aldrich of the deep fight. Timmy Kawamba got a big flying knee. Was it a KO? It was a KO. Big flying knee KO. I don't think Romero was out, but over for Roberto Romero. At least got a stoppage with the flying knee. I don't remember him being out from it, so maybe it was like a TKO. But um, yeah, very fun striking featherweight this fight had. And finally, Chelsea Chandler and Jocelyn Edwards started the card off, and they got us up to a pretty good start. Huge body kick, then a right hand afterwards. Seals the deal and starts the show off right. We're shooting on Sunday, me and Carl are, for the preview show, because I have plans. Saturday, May 3rd, I have plans. It is free comic book day, and I've been helping out at my local comic book store a lot, becoming friends with them, and for like these last couple months, and they asked me, I said, hey, do you mind helping out? And I said, yeah, sure. I had no idea what I was getting into. I just said, yeah, sure, why not? I've never been to a free comic book day, even though I'm a huge comic book fan. Apparently, it is the Black Friday of comic book stores, and I went, uh-oh. Last time I worked a Black Friday, I walked out of my job in like college. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Much love from me and the whole INC family as always. Uh, I'm Joe with the INC. Thank you so much for watching.